The United States, a nation founded on principles of religious freedom and separation of church and state, is grappling with a surge in Christian nationalism. This ideology, often blurring the lines between faith and politics, argues that America is inherently a Christian nation, and its laws should reflect Christian values. This notion is deeply troubling. It threatens the very fabric of American democracy, particularly its commitment to religious pluralism and inclusivity. The rise of Christian nationalism is not merely a theological debate, it is a potent force shaping the political landscape and deepening social divisions. Christian nationalism is a complex phenomenon, fueled by a confluence of social, political, and economic anxieties. It is imperative to understand the factors contributing to its rise and the potential consequences for the future of American democracy. Only through open dialogue and a commitment to the fundamental values of the nation can we hope to navigate this challenging terrain and build a more inclusive and equitable society. The Republican Party, once a champion of limited government and individual liberty, has increasingly aligned itself with the Christian nationalist movement. This alliance is particularly evident in the party's embrace of socially conservative policies, such as opposition to abortion and same-sex marriage. These issues resonate strongly with the Christian nationalist base, who view them as non-negotiable tenets of their faith and essential for the moral fabric of the nation. The rise of Donald Trump further solidified this bond. Trump's populist rhetoric, often laced with appeals to Christian values and anxieties about cultural change, resonated deeply with many white evangelical voters who felt increasingly marginalized in a rapidly diversifying America. This sense of cultural displacement, coupled with economic anxieties and a distrust of secular institutions, created fertile ground for the growth of Christian nationalism within the Republican Party. While Christian nationalism claims to represent all Christians, its adherents are concentrated within specific demographic groups. White evangelical Protestants in particular are significantly more likely to embrace Christian nationalist views than other religious groups. This affinity stems from their theological beliefs, which often emphasize the inerrancy of the Bible and the importance of applying biblical principles to all aspects of life, including government. Beyond religious affiliation, other factors contribute to susceptibility to Christian nationalism. Frequent churchgoers, particularly those embedded in communities where such views are prevalent, are more likely to hold these beliefs. Older adults, often nostalgic for a perceived Christian America of the past, and those with lower levels of education also show higher levels of support. The geography of Christian nationalism reveals much about its roots and appeal. The movement finds its most fertile ground in the southern and midwestern states, regions often referred to as the Bible Belt due to the historical prominence of evangelical Christianity. These areas often exhibit a strong sense of religious identity and a deep suspicion of secularism and cultural change. The confluence of these factors creates a receptive audience for Christian nationalist messages. In contrast, northeastern states, known for their greater religious diversity and more liberal social values, tend to have far lower levels of support for Christian nationalism. This geographic divide reflects the broader cultural and political polarization within the United States, highlighting the challenges of bridging these differences and fostering national unity. Section 5. Echo chambers and algorithms, the media's role. The media landscape, particularly the rise of partisan news outlets and social media algorithms, plays a significant role in amplifying Christian nationalist views. Far-right media outlets, often catering to a conservative Christian audience, frequently promote Christian nationalist rhetoric, portraying America as a nation under siege by secular forces. These outlets often blur the lines between news and opinion, reinforcing pre-existing biases and anxieties. Social media platforms, while offering the potential for diverse perspectives, can also create echo chambers where users are primarily exposed to information that confirms their existing beliefs. Algorithms designed to maximize engagement often prioritize sensationalized content, including Christian nationalist rhetoric, which can stoke fear and resentment towards those perceived as different or threatening. Section 6. Beyond the steeple beliefs shaping a nation. Christian nationalism, while rooted in religious identity, extends its reach far beyond the walls of the church. Adherents often hold a constellation of political and social beliefs that shape their worldview and influence their political engagement. These beliefs often manifest in support for authoritarian leaders who promise to restore a perceived Christian order, as well as a deep distrust of democratic institutions and processes. Central to the Christian nationalist worldview is a belief in American exceptionalism, the notion that the United States holds a unique and divinely ordained role in world history. This belief often intertwines with a sense of white Christian supremacy, viewing white Christians as the rightful heirs to America's legacy and power. This ideology can manifest in support for policies that discriminate against minority groups and restrict immigration, as well as opposition to social justice movements that challenge the existing racial and social hierarchy. Furthermore, Christian nationalism often promotes traditional gender roles, viewing men as the heads of households and women as primarily responsible for domestic duties and child-rearing. This emphasis on traditional family structures often translates into opposition to LGBTQ+ rights and attempts to restrict access to reproductive health care. Section 7. The discontented socioeconomic roots of a movement. While often framed as a battle for the soul of America, the rise of Christian nationalism is deeply intertwined with socioeconomic factors. Many adherents come from communities grappling with economic hardship, experiencing stagnant wages, job insecurity, and a decline in traditional industries. This sense of economic anxiety fuels a sense of resentment and a yearning for a return to a perceived past when America was great. The decline of traditional social institutions, such as labor unions and churches, further exacerbates this sense of displacement. These institutions once provided a sense of community, identity, and support, but their influence has waned in recent decades, leaving many individuals feeling isolated and adrift. Christian nationalism fills this void, offering a sense of belonging, purpose, and a framework for understanding a rapidly changing world. Section 8. A House Divided, Dangers and Challenges. The rise of Christian nationalism poses significant challenges to American democracy and social cohesion. Its exclusionary ideology, which prioritizes the interests of a particular group over the common good, undermines the fundamental principles of equality and religious freedom upon which the nation was founded. This can manifest in discriminatory policies, the erosion of civil liberties, and increased social and political polarization. One of the most alarming aspects of Christian nationalism is its embrace of political violence as a legitimate means of achieving its goals. The January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol, where Christian nationalist symbols and rhetoric were prominently displayed, served as a stark reminder of the potential for this ideology to incite violence and undermine democratic processes. Section 9. A Way Forward, Bridging the Divide. Addressing the challenge of Christian nationalism requires a multifaceted approach that tackles both its ideological roots and the socioeconomic factors that contribute to its appeal. Promoting civic education that emphasizes the importance of religious freedom, pluralism, and the separation of church and state is crucial. Encouraging critical thinking skills and media literacy can help individuals discern fact from fiction and resist the allure of simplistic narratives that exploit fear and resentment. Addressing the socioeconomic anxieties that fuel Christian nationalism is equally crucial. Investing in education, job training, and social safety net programs can alleviate economic hardship and reduce the appeal of extremist ideologies that prey on feelings of hopelessness and despair. Furthermore, strengthening social institutions that foster a sense of community and belonging, such as schools, libraries, and community centers, can provide alternative sources of identity and support, reducing the allure of exclusionary ideologies like Christian nationalism.